Okay, so we are live with the DCTV show, episode 72. Welcome to everyone who is tuning in live. Currently, I am away, and so that is why I'm in a different setup. Should be back to normal, I believe, by the time of the next live stream. So, yeah, stay tuned. We have lots of videos coming out, lots of cool stuff. Obviously, the Flash and Superman Lois are currently off right now. So we're going to be talking about the season finale of both The Flash and Superman Lois. I have my notes as per usual, and hopefully my internet here really does hold up. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Superman Lois and The Flash mainly. That is the main topics. Obviously, Superman Lois just had its season 2 finale this week, earlier this week, and then Flash had its season finale as well. And basically, they established some very interesting things, and we'll be talking about that in this live stream. But for now, remember, guys, if you want to support the channel, if you want to get your questions answered throughout this live stream, please be sure to send them in via Super Chats. Now, how do you send your questions in via Super Chats? You click the $ next to the chat function just underneath, and you can send in any question, and your support is greatly appreciated towards the channel. But also, you can get your question featured on the stream, like Sarah here, or like Vera, just like that popping up, or even Barry Allen. So yeah, thank you guys, and yeah, please be sure to stick around throughout the whole live stream if you can. Yeah, it's probably going to be another 45-minute live stream or so. That's what we did last week, and we're going to continue to do this week. But yeah, so as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about Superman Lois first. Then we'll talk about the Flash, because that's the order that the episodes aired. And I personally think the Superman Lois revelation is much more interesting than the Flash's, although the Flash's revelation is definitely very interesting in regards to what happened at the end of the episode. So yeah, that is crazy. Like, there are so many things to talk about, but I want to ask you guys, what was your overall thoughts on Superman Lois's finale? Did you like it? Did the kind of big revelation twist it for you? Did you like it less after that? I know Eric liked it less. And I've heard a lot of people complaining about it. So yeah, tell me in your chat. I'm going to wait for 1 minute to see your answers, and then we'll be sure to go into them. But my personal thoughts is, I actually like the finale quite a lot. I wouldn't say that the revelation took much away from the actual episode, because I think the episode was actually good. However, I will say that the revelation was definitely mind-boggling. I don't know. It was like something that I kind of knew was coming, so I wouldn't say I was shocked, but I would say I'm definitely a little bit disappointed, because this is an Arrowverse show, so why can't it be in the Arrowverse proper? Well, that's because they have their own reasons, and we'll get into those reasons. So I wish that Superman and Lois was actually like properly canon in Earth Prime, but yeah, we'll get into it. I can see some of you guys sending in your questions and your answers in regards to my question, actually, in the chat. I'm going to go through them. But let me just pull up the screen so I can actually read them. All right, give me a minute. Okay. Right, now I've got them up. So let's see who has replied. So we have Kazi here, and Kazi says, spit in the face of Arrowverse fans. That is definitely some harsh wording. However, I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you. As an Arrowverse fan, let's move on to the next thing. So Mayata says, I didn't mind it. I still wish it was connected to the Arrowverse, in my opinion, to be honest. Well, I feel kind of the same. I will explain my proper thoughts later. But yeah, definitely, I would say that, yeah, I kind of fall in the same field, Mayata. The Timeless Child says, I wish that Superman Lois was canon. I don't understand why DC have done this. Well, I don't think it's DC specifically. It's actually Todd Helbing, the showrunner of the show. He was the one having the conversations, and he's got, like, the main overall power as to what really goes on to do with, like, the decisions on Superman and Lois. So Nathan says, do you think the Superman Lois we saw in Crisis are definitely the Arrowverse ones? I like the episode, but the reveal was disappointing. Yeah, I agree. And I reckon they could do something like that. They could say, oh, the Superman Lois ones we saw in Crisis, they still exist, but on Earth Prime. And I think that would be their best kind of like explanation for any crossovers if they don't want to do the multiverse. So I wouldn't put it past them to do that. And I think that would be interesting because we've obviously established in the CW on Supergirl in the crossovers that, like, Supergirl is more powerful than Superman, and that they both existed, and they kind of, Superman helped Supergirl when she first arrived, but that never happened on this Earth. So yeah, that's like a way that they could get out of it, I guess. Cal says, hi guys, welcome Cal, welcome to the live stream, and welcome to all of you who are joining now. So I'm going to get into my thoughts and opinions, but once again, if you have any super chat questions that you want to send in, any burning questions in your mind, please be sure to send them in now, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I go after, as soon as I've told you my opinion on all of this. So my overall thoughts on the episode, like I said, I liked the episode. I thought it was good. I thought there was a lot of cool stuff. However, I will say the John Diggle scene was very short. It was definitely disappointing for me. I would say that's more disappointing than the other thing. Just because, like I said, I was expecting something more from Diggle, but literally it was just to set up the new villain next season, that being, I think, Bruno Mannheim from Intergang. And pretty much nothing more. Like, there was no reason. That could have been said by anyone, but I guess they wanted him to say it because he's Argus. But yeah, so that was probably my biggest disappointment. But then with the reveal, that Superman and Lois is not in the Arrowverse, let's get into that. So I think Superman and Lois should have been set on Earth Prime. However, I've been expecting this for a while, as I mentioned, so I'm not shocked. But I do think it's a mistake, because I think after the Flash goes away, what main Earth Prime show do we have? What was the point in Crisis? What was the point in all of this if we're just introducing new shows that completely ignore the Arrowverse? Like, what is the point of the Arrowverse? What, it's kind of that. It's kind of been like a little bit disrespectful, I feel, to the Arrowverse, because it's like, yeah, you existed, but we want to do our own thing and not be tied down to you. Like, it's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. The Arrowverse is great. Fans love it. That's why we watch the DCTV shows, because they are intertwined. It's not like, you watch NCIS and then you watch, I don't know, like CSI. Imagine if they were linked. You would watch them. And that's why you get people watching NCIS, the original one, and NCIS Los Angeles, because they're linked, right? That's the calling card. And the Arrowverse is the calling card of the DCTV shows on the CW. So why are you shying away from it? Tell me. Why are you shying away from it? I get for Superman and Lois, it's a really good show. So I think it's somewhat more understandable than, if a show was kind of bad, because maybe if a show is bad or there's not many people watching the show, then you want a link to the Arrowverse to get viewers. But Superman and Lois luckily can get viewers by itself, so they don't have to make that decision. I think if Superman and Lois were doing bad, I honestly think by season 2 we would have had a crossover. We would have been linked. We would have had references to the Arrowverse. But since they've been doing well by themselves, they've kind of got into that idea, and I don't think they're going to go back, apart from various tiny crossovers. Unless we get a big Arrowverse crossover before the Flash ends, I don't see Superman and Lois crossing over much, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And that's a shame. I think that's a shame because it's a great show. Superman was a great part of the Arrowverse before. So was Lois. Lois was introduced in the crossovers. She was established in the Arrowverse. And then they span her off and span Superman off into their own show. But that's not their origin. Although we're telling more of their origin and getting to know them better, they were introduced in the Arrowverse on Earth Prime. And so apparently now, with it not being set on Earth Prime, the characters that we've been following is in fact not the characters that we knew before. It's completely different. It's different people on a different Earth, and that's how they're explaining it. So yeah, that's my thoughts first up. We'll continue with this, but we have 2 super chats, so we need to answer these. So Cal Roswell sends in a 99-cent super chat. Thank you very much, Cal. I appreciate your support towards the channel, as usual, Cal. Great member here. We are actually having our live stream, our monthly member Zoom call this week. So be on the lookout for that. I'll see you there, Cal. Okay, we have another super chat. This is from Atlantic Ocean. Sends in a 17.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Atlantic. I really appreciate your support towards the channel. And look, you got a big question on the screen covering the entirety. You can barely see me. Look, I'm just gonna read the question like this. With more news about Ezra, will this be the final straw with Warner Brothers? I hope the film can be released and all ready and Sasha to shine as Supergirl. Will all this news really hurt the film? And have you noticed anything about her, heard anything about her in the film? So thank you very much for this question, Cal. I really appreciate the huge super chat. You are awesome. Let's get into this. Okay, so yeah, I think you asked about this, Atlantic, last week, and there's been more news. Like I think I've seen various news reports about Ezra and about him like doing all these terrible kind of like very shady things. I don't specifically remember the article, so I'm not going to pretend like I remember it off by heart. But definitely I've seen some stuff this last week, and I think it's come to the final straw for Warner Brothers. As I previously said last week on the stream, I think they have to make a decision. Are they going to release the film, or are they just going to chuck it on HBO Max? They're never going to just throw the film away and never release it. That would be unheard of. Really, really unheard of. If they're so desperate for it to be a franchise and to be great but not use Ezra, they will have to recast and they will have to reshoot. And this production was a long production, so I don't know if they want to do it. I think it was very expensive. So yeah, that's just how I see it right now. I don't think Warner Brothers is going to be working with Ezra anytime soon. They've said that. I think they clarified, no, we're not going to be working with Ezra because of all these instances that has been going on. So I think, yeah, Warner Brothers has reached the last straw with Ezra. But I do think the film will be released, even if it's on HBO Max, because if they release it there, they don't get, I guess, as much publicity as if it was released in the cinema. However, you still aren't wasting your money. You're still getting potential new subscribers onto HBO Max because it's owned by Warner Brothers. And so, yeah, I think that's maybe the best option right now. Like, it's a shame because I was so looking forward to the Flash film. And I think a big part of the Flash film that we're all excited about is, you know, Michael Keaton's Batman. He's in this. Ben Affleck's Batman. We believe even Wonder Woman may make a cameo. She was filming when they were filming The Flash as Wonder Woman. So I believe Wonder Woman's in it. And then also, but the biggest thing is Sasha's Supergirl. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I'm very excited. So it would be a huge shame after everything. After everything that has happened, to just throw her performance specifically away because she is a new person to the DCEU. This is the first Supergirl in the DCEU. Obviously, we have Helen Slater from a past Supergirl film. We have Melissa from the TV show, but we never had a strictly DCEU Supergirl. So this is obviously very exciting, and that's why it's a big, big shame that all this stuff with Ezra has kind of clouded the film. And now the film is really up in the air as to how it's going to be released. Okay, so thank you so much for the super chat, Atlantic Ocean. That was a great super chat. Atlantic actually sends in another super chat, so we're going to go ahead and answer this right away. Thank you so much once again, Atlantic, for the super chat, for the $8.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. Atlantic says, with the great news of Melissa's new series starting to film this fall, would this mean that in future seasons of Superman and Lois, she will be unable to come film a guest role, or will they recast a new Kara? So this actually leads me into one of my topics to do with Superman and Lois. We're going to discuss this right away because Atlantic is bringing it up. And this is Supergirl in Superman and Lois, because this is not Earth Prime. And Todd Helbing has specifically said in an interview with the Flash podcast, when asked about Supergirl and if Melissa was ever going to show up again, he said it wouldn't be our version of Supergirl, it would be another version of Supergirl, and probably, I'm presuming, not played by Melissa. So with Melissa, with her new show, I think it's called something on the bus, like the girls on the bus, maybe. Obviously, it's very exciting for her. I'm very excited for her to get this series up and running. Obviously, she's got a big deal with Warner Brothers right now, so it's no problem for her, I don't think. But yeah, she's still in Warner Brothers, so there's always the link to come back, and they would definitely like her back. However, I think it's true, but we'll have to see how long this show goes on for, how long it takes to film, how busy she's going to be. Then we can determine, is Melissa ever going to be free to come appear on Supergirl, in the Arrowverse shows? Well, I think, honestly, she's probably not going to show up unless The Flash or Superman Lois goes on for a very, very long time, like 5+ years. I think she would return in like 5 years. I don't think she'll return anytime sooner. And that's just my opinion, even though I would really like her to return much sooner because I love Supergirl. So let's get into the Supergirl thing. So will she be recast if Supergirl ever shows up on Superman and Lois? So with the way that Todd Helbing was talking, it seems she would be recast. And this would not be a recasting of the Supergirl that we know, but in fact, a recasting, just like they did to Lucy Lane or General Lane or Maxwell Lord. Tauro, Morgan Edge. I think it'll be similar to that because that's just how they've approached it. So it'll be a different person playing the same person, but this person would be on another Earth. So it would kind of make sense, but it would be a big, big shame if it wasn't Melissa's Supergirl. So yeah, that's my opinion. That's what I think will go on. I definitely would like. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a different Supergirl on Superman and Lois. Like, I would actually like to see that. Maybe if the Flash film is screwed, they could bring Sasha on somehow to Superman and Lois and be the DCTV Supergirl for the Superman and Lois Earth. That would be very interesting. Obviously, they would have to explain how the Supergirl exists, because as far as we know, Superman has never interacted with any other superhero, and that definitely means that, he hasn't interacted with a past version of Supergirl before, but there is big contradictions. Now, I'm going to say, with the John Diggle stuff, with him supposedly not being our John Diggle, it kind of is a bit confusing. Now, again, if you guys have any thoughts on this, please be sure to send them in the chat, because this is really like, I have to talk to you guys, because this is, pressing. Like, this is huge stuff. And if you have any super chats you want to send in right now, please be sure to do it, because now's a good time. But yeah, so apparently this John Diggle that we just saw in the Superman Lois finale is in fact not our Diggle, but Diggle from another Earth. This is Diggle from Superman Lois's Earth. And so with that, it feels kind of like a cover-up, because if you guys remember, there's been this clip going around online to do with season 1 of Superman Lois. Basically, what happened in season 1 of Superman Lois, they actually had an appearance from Diggle, if you guys remember it. I'm sure you do. He showed up as everything was going crazy with Tao, and basically, in the speech, in the kind of short amount of speaking he does, he actually references Oliver. He references fighting side by side with Superman. He also references other heroes. And so with that, we all presumed, oh, this is the Diggle that fought in Crisis. This is the Diggle from Arrow. But no, apparently they retconned even that one scene from Superman Lois. So they're not only retconning the Arrowverse or Supergirl, they are retconning their own show from season 1, because now they're saying, oh, the Diggle we just saw, he is not the same Diggle as Arrow. But that season 1 Diggle we saw was definitely Diggle from Arrow, who fought in Crisis and has his memories and everything. And how does he explain, him with the stone? Like, obviously he didn't show up with the stone in this episode, because they sorted that out previously in the Flash's episode. So yeah, I really think this is one big cover up. Yeah. So that's just my opinion. I think it's one big cover up. I think they didn't think it through. I think with the success of season 1, they decided to go more solo than they initially planned. If you guys remember, the season 1 episode 1 pilot synopsis, in fact, included loads of references. And at one point, there was supposed to be like a Supergirl photo on the mantle, establishing that it's the same Superman and same Lois that were there with Supergirl fighting in the past. And they have history, so yeah. Sorry. It's definitely one big cover-up. What Earth will John Diggle's Justice U series be on? Well, that is a big question now. We have no idea. I have this sinking feeling that it may be set on Superman and Lois's Earth, because they've got this Diggle still there. However, with him showing up on the Flash and stuff, and him being an Arrow character, it would make sense to have Justice U be set on Earth Prime. I think it should be set on Earth Prime. I think it'd be a mistake if it was not, especially because, like I mentioned before, the Flash is the final Arrowverse show that is still on, that is set on Earth Prime. Stargirl's not set on Earth Prime. Superman Lois is not set on Earth Prime. Yeah, what else do we have? Like, Gotham Knights is coming. Definitely not set on Earth Prime. The only hope we have is Justice U right now. That is literally our only hope, because Supergirl is gone. Black Lightning has gone. Legends of Tomorrow has gone. Naomi wasn't set on our Earth, so that doesn't really count, but that's gone as well. So with all of that, what's going on, Okay, so we're going to be probably moving on to the Flash in a minute. So if you have any final Superman Lois questions, or you want to send in any Flash questions, please be sure to send them in now. Again, super chats are really appreciated. They're the best way for me to go and answer your questions. Obviously, I'm trying to pull up some of the questions you have in the live chat, but I can't always answer everyone, because there's a fair chunk of you asking questions. Jade asks, when are you going to be done with your film, and how and where are you going to release it? I'm not sure where I'm going to release it or how. However, we're going to film it later this year. We haven't actually filmed it yet. in regards to my short film that I was doing fundraising for. So yeah, that's going to be later in the year. I'll keep you guys updated if you guys want to watch it. Okay, so we have a $4.99 super chat from Cal Roswell. Thank you so much for the super chat, Cal. I really appreciate your support. Cal says it would have been cool if it was Diggle traveling the multiverse. Yeah, now that would be another good explanation. That would definitely be something that I would buy into. However, with Todd Helbing saying this is not Diggle explicitly in an interview, I feel like that's kind of confirmation, right? However, Superman Lois is not opposed to making changes, so I wouldn't put it past them to one day have that Diggle be actually Diggle. So yeah, it's like lots of, I guess, how would you call it? Like logistical problems that they have to go through, and they have to choose which side do they want to go on, multiverse or not, Arrowverse or not. Well, they want to stick in the Arrowverse. It's 100% in the Arrowverse because General Lane talked about seeing these other heroes, but then also that Superman was the only superhero on Superman Lois's Earth. Obviously, that established a different way that we are to see Superman Lois from now on. We get to see it as separate from the Arrowverse, although it still exists within the Arrowverse. It's just another Earth. It's like if Harrison Wells had a TV show from Earth 2, you know? It's like Stargirl. But yeah, so thank you so much for the super chat, Cal. Really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel, and thanks for tuning into the live stream. If you guys have any other questions, again, send them in right now. Okay, let's move on to the Flash. So, yeah, this is a good point. The Flash still hasn't discovered the new multiverse. That is entirely true. Hasn't found out anything yet. But Superman and Lois, they know about it. That's interesting. Okay, so the Flash Season 8 finale aired last week, just after Superman and Lois. If you guys haven't seen my review and breakdowns for those episodes, please be sure to go check them out. They're up on the channel right now. But my overall thoughts on episode 20 of Season 8, the finale, I have to say, I think it was a fairly strong episode. I thought it was very solid. It's like maybe 8.5. Really liked most stuff. There was some, not so good stuff, like with the forces and also with, Cecile. I feel like I complain about her every week, and I really do apologize. I got nothing against the actor. She's great. I've interviewed her before. I just don't like where the story is going, like with her at the end, like using the Force. Thought that was just completely out of left field. Like I was not expecting that, and I think they're making her too overpowered, if I'm being completely honest. It's not that I don't want her to be as powerful as the Flash. Of course, all for it. However, her powers are mind-based, and I don't think it's that realistic. And I know it's the Flash, it's meta-humans, but I don't think she would have learned how to mind control a cup into her hand, like using the Force, this quick. That's just my opinion. But yeah, apart from that, Reverse Flash was awesome. Barry was awesome in this episode. Iris returned. Got a great cliffhanger or two. So lots of great stuff to go into and talk about. So we're going to be heading into the Flash Season 8 finale right now. So yeah, let's get started. So again, leave your overall thoughts on the episode in the chat right now, and send in any Flash related super chats that you have right now by clicking the $ underneath the chat, and that's how you'll get your questions answered and popped up on the screen like this. Okay, so overall thoughts. Like I said, I enjoyed this episode. Very good. But I have to say, it was very exciting, and these last episodes have been exciting. That Reverse Flash has been the main villain. It's so funny because technically the negative forces were the big bads, but I would say Reverse Flash kind of took over because he's cooler than them by the end. And so technically he got 2 graphic novels for himself as the villain. It's kind of like the forces, the negative forces were there with Reverse Flash, and then Reverse Flash was there with Despero, in Armageddon, so technically he's been around a lot this season, and that is inherently very, very, very exciting. Yeah, but Timeless Child says something very, very much so that I agree with. I really love that we saw a more darker side of Barry in the beginning. It sent chills down my spine. Yeah, he was going crazy. Like the end of the last episode with, specifically what happened with him shooting the lightning at Iris. That was crazy. So I really, really thought, wow, they went dark with that, and I liked it a lot. Okay, so negative Reverse Flash. He comes, he arrives, and he is wearing a new suit. That is absolutely crazy. I like the suit. I thought it was a cool design. However, and you guys can tell me in the chat what you think about it. I'm not a big fan of the helmet. It's more of a helmet than a cowl. So I'm just not a good fan of that. Like, it's not something that I like. I like the traditional Flash kind of suits that Reverse Flash wears. However, the black color scheme was very, very cool. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the chat. Okay, just putting one thing up right now. One sec, guys. Did not like the black Flash reverse suit. The cowl was a bit off. Yeah, I have to agree. Oh, my actor didn't like it at all. Same with Timeless Child. Really not a fan of the suit, to be honest. Yeah. My issue with the finale is that Eobard Thorne was manipulated by negative speed force. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like a little bit unbelievable just based on how powerful he normally is, and how smart he is. So yeah, maybe it's a tiny bit unbelievable. But yeah, like all of his scenes were very interesting, and by the end of the episode you have this question where you're like, okay, so is Reverse Flash actually dead by the end of the episode? Is he going to come back? We kind of like disintegrated. So I'm going to say, because it's Reverse Flash, never say never. He's probably going to come back. We know better than to say otherwise, because he does come back. Eric Wallace loves him, and he's fully into bringing Reverse Flash back. He did it twice this season. They did it in season 5. He's going to come back all the time. That's just the way that it is. And I'm all here for that. But yeah, the suit was cool. However, the cowl was definitely off. I do like the color scheme. I think it would have been cool if they went with a more traditional costume, but then you would have had to differentiate him from Mina, who has a black suit as well. So you had that problem. And so maybe that is like one of the contributing factors to why he had this kind of like metallic suit type look to his suit. But yeah, so the Forces return in this episode to boost Barry's powers. And so by boosting Barry's powers, he is actually able to take down Thorne. He's able to absolutely destroy him by the end of the episode. However, at the start of the episode, he's not very powerful. Like, Barry has nothing on Thorne. Thorne is charged with all the negative forces, and so he is on the top of his game. But when the forces are able to come back, partially due to, with the help of Cecile getting Bashir back, the other forces end up coming back. They have like one small shot. You see Nora there, and everyone else is there, and it was really cool. However, at that point, they literally disintegrate and they go into Barry to give him extra power, and so they boost him and he's able to defeat Reverse Flash. So again, no opinions on the forces because they barely showed up. I didn't like Boucher that much. I'm just not a big fan, to be honest. The negative forces, again, bit cringe, always doing these quirky lines, one-liners. Not always a big fan of that. So I would say definitely Reverse Flash was the best part of this episode for sure, and these final few episodes. But yeah, let's talk about the cameo actually, and if you guys have any questions, send it in regards to this, because we had this big hyped up cameo that was hyped up for a long time, and I was expecting something like, I don't know, like Oliver Queen or something shocking, like, but at the end of the day, you know who it was? It was Damien Dark. Now that was something that no one expected. No one expected Damien Dark to show up as the cameo in the Flash's finale. It makes complete sense when you think of it. We've been talking about the time zone, but no one guessed that Damien Dark would be back. He's linked to the time zone. He gave it to Joe, and that's how Iris was alive. So we were definitely expecting someone bigger than Damien Dark, although he is a big character. We're just not expecting him specifically. So I would say it was definitely a letdown because we were like, ooh, could have maybe Oliver's coming back or something. Like, that would have been absolutely crazy if Oliver showed up or like Superman showed up or anyone like that. However, yeah, I don't know. Damien Dark is fine. I didn't like him in season 4 at all. Preferred him recently. But yeah, definitely slightly disappointing. And so, yeah, let's move on from here. Once again, as we head into the final kind of chapter of this live stream, we've got about under 10 minutes left until we hit the 45-minute mark. Please be sure to send in your super chats right now. If you want to ask a question and be featured on the stream, please be sure to send in right now because they do take a while to send. So do it now. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. So let's talk about that Frost cliffhanger. We have to talk about Frost. So with that, what is going on, guys? Tell me in the chat, what do you think is going on with Frost? Do you think Frost is Frost, or do you think it's still Caitlin, or is it someone completely else? Now, I would say it's something completely else, because their experiment was supposed to be that Caitlin would be Caitlin, but they would reinstall Frost into her mind so that he would be able to communicate, use the body when they want. However, with what happened with the malfunction in the pod that she was in, I've got a feeling it's a different type of Frost. Now, what happens if it's a evil type of Frost? Like, you know, this alternative old version of her that we used to see in the past that was pretty much just a Frost that was, how would you say, like, not very humane, like the season 2 Frost where we saw her on Earth 2, you know, something like that. Imagine, that would be so cool if she was kind of like a villain, and had this whole other look. Like, surely she has to have another look. So yeah, I'm not gonna say she's gonna be evil or something, but she's definitely gonna be different. That is what I'm thinking right now. So yeah, let's see what some people are saying. My bet is a different actress. Yeah, I guess that is interesting. That would be definitely interesting. I'm not gonna bet on that. I don't think that is that likely, to be honest. But I really do think it's gonna be Danielle, because we know she's coming back next season. So I would say more likely than not, it's probably going to be Danielle, but it's going to just be, different makeup and stuff, kind of like how they have different makeup between Frost and Caitlin. Jade thinks that Frost is coming back. Interesting. I think it's maybe Frost or someone new. It's Caitlin or it's just Frost still. Hey Jamie, welcome to the live stream. So yeah, I feel like we're a little bit split on this. I think it's gonna be like a mix of them, but it's gonna be kind of like a new look. It's gonna be a little bit different from the Frost and from the Caitlin that we know. Okay, Jamie has sent in a super chat, 179. Thank you very much, Jamie, for the super chat. I really appreciate your support towards the channel. You're awesome. Thanks for being a member too. No worries for being late. Absolutely no problem. So just a reminder, guys, we're in our last 5 minutes or so of the live stream. We're going to be talking about the Flash cliffhanger and anything else you guys want to talk about as we head towards the end of the stream. As I said before, any final super chats right now, send them in right now. We'll be sure to answer them before the end of the stream, even if we slightly run over. But yeah, just before we talk about that cliffhanger, let's talk about who appeared in this episode. So we have Bart, Nora, Jay, and Joan, plus Mina in this episode as 4 different people that we're not used to 100% seeing. Obviously, we've seen Mina in the past, 3 episodes, I guess. 3. But then she was revealed at the end of a previous episode. So I think technically it's 4 episodes from Mina. I could be wrong. But yeah, it was cool to see them all team up. Jay actually didn't go out in the field. Thought that was interesting. But he kind of stayed back and helped out. He was the one that kind of tracked down the time stone and where Iris was. So he was a great help. And so was Joan. But they didn't really come to the fight. But yeah, so Bart and Nora are back. It's cool to see them in the past 2 episodes. I don't think they had a big story recently. I think they've had bigger episodes before. So yeah, I don't really need to go into too much detail in regards to Bart and Nora showing up in this episode. But yeah, let's talk about the final thing. So we're going to talk about the cliffhanger. So Cobalt Blue was revealed in this episode, supposedly at the cliffhanger, and that is, if you guys remember what happened at the end of the episode, there was this kind of montage, and this montage led to a final reveal of a blue kind of stone that was slightly flaming. Now this is in fact, if we are right in saying, the blue flame from the comics. Now the blue flame is the power and the thing that gives Cobalt Blue powers. And so they are definitely teasing Cobalt Blue for next season, because that is very, very obvious in my opinion. And yeah, I would just say very cool cliffhanger. We're all excited to see it, but we all are kind of wondering, is this going to be actually Malcolm Thorne from the comics, or are they going to twist it and make it Eddie Thorne? I think it would be interesting if it was another actor who played Cobalt Blue, but was in fact still a Thorne, just like they did with Malcolm Thorne in the comics. So a different member of the Thorne family would be very cool. We have to wait and see. Until next season, we haven't had any confirmation in regards to that at all. But yeah, so there is always a chance that Rick Kosnick comes back as Cobalt Blue, Timeless Charles. But I'm not going to say 100%. But yeah, Nathan brings up something quite interesting. I think it will be Malcolm Thorne, but using Eddie's face to torment Barry and Iris. Well, that makes sense if it is, someone in the Thorne family. However, I don't know if they want to bring back Rick Kosnick so much, because they brought him back twice this season, I think. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Jamie's got a theory, or it could be Max Mercury, but turns good later. Yeah, maybe, but I think for now, Cobalt Blue is. I feel like it will be Malcolm Thorne, or it'll be, another version of Eddie Thorne. That's kind of my thoughts right now. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this live stream, guys. thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sending in the super chats. If you did send them in, I appreciate your support towards the channel. I appreciate everyone who is watching this video and this live stream, and also to all of you who are watching afterwards, who watch the stream. You guys are awesome. And for now, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later next week for another live stream. And I'll update you. Follow me on Twitter at TheDCTVshow to be updated. Also on my community tab, stay active there, turn on notifications to not miss out on any of these live streams. And for all of you who want to become members, please be sure to become a member right now by going and clicking the join button. How do you click the join button? Let me quickly show you guys before we end the stream, because this is important, because we are doing our members call this coming Thursday. Now I'm going to pull this up to show you guys. You can see, just click on the join button. There should be a subscribe button, or if you're already subscribed, which you all should be, click the join button. You'll pause that really old video and you can donate any sort of level of super chat, and you'll be entered into our members kind of pool. And then you'll also, no matter what rank you are, you'll be able to come join the live streams with the Zoom calls with us. There is one coming this Thursday. That is why I bring it up. So click join if you want to join in with the call, talk to me, talk to the fellow members. And yeah, they're good fun. So we'll see you on Thursday, guys, and see you for more videos later this week. And then a live stream also coming in about a week's time. So for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.